are these vessels, and what's that nerve going with it?
That's common carotid and then vagus nerve.
Yeah. What's this cartilage? This one's the cricoid. And these tracheocartilages, what embryonic tissue do they derive from? No fooling you on that stuff. What is this branch coming off the aortic arch? Brachiocephalic trunk. Make sure you say trunk or artery. And that makes this one? Yeah, and just follow it on out so your vein is a lot easier to follow. And there's going to be a subscapular. That's the one that's kind of diving in up towards the shoulder. And what you want is this one that goes out to the middle portion of the arm. So there it is, subclavian artery and vein. What are these veins? Jugulars. Yeah, and make sure you say external jugular. The internals are going to come and join with them too, but we'll ignore those for now. So when the external jugular comes together with our subclavians, what do we get? That's going to be
the brachiocephalic vein.
Yeah. So remember, you have one brachiocephalic trunk, but two right and left brachiocephalic veins, and then they merge to form
Superior necrotic.
So the trachea comes down, branches to go to the two lungs. What is that structure after it's branched? What's that called? Yeah, so just imagine this is the trachea and I branch. What are these two branches called? Going in primary bronchi. I think we went over all the stomach stuff pretty well, but remember the sphincters and the rugae. So which sphincter is this one? Cardiac. Yeah, and then these are the rugae here. What's this first unpaired artery, and what's it coming off of? So abdominal aorta right there. And then we've got our three main branches. Let's see if I can even see them. The easy one is this one. Yeah. And then we have the other two. The left gastric. Make sure, some people put left and right gastric. Make sure you just put left gastric. Yeah, there's a right gastric around the loop, but this right here is just the left gastric. And that's the one that's going to go to what part of the stomach?
Oh, the lesser curvature.
Yeah, so look for it traveling along the lesser curvature. And then that last one, the hepatic, diving down right under there. And I will have it arranged, if I did ask you about the hepatic, it's going to be arranged so you can see where it's going to. So I have something under here, like paper towel or something holding that so you can see where it's going. You just look for that one going up into the liver. What's this one?
Superior mesenteric?
Yeah, that's superior mesenteric artery. Celiac, superior mesenteric, way down here, inferior mesenteric. This one's the one that's kind of hard, and I'd like you to take a look at this picture when you get a chance, because this shows you how it should be. Because I've been flopping guts left and right, twisting and turning, I'll never get them back this way. But in real life, the colon should be kind of like this, so that you have like an ascending and a little bit of a, this. So you have a little bit of a curvature, and they have the picture of how it really is. I'll never get it that way again. But the reason we want to do that is we want to follow these branches to where they go, and you have to keep flipping it around to do that. So we decided last week to use a landmark, and there's our landmark. What's the landmark?
The ileocecal valve.
And so the artery going straight to it is going to be your ileocolon. And then if you look at the colon itself, and maybe halfway along the length or so, not in the mid-region, the artery going to that is going to be your mid-colon. Mid-colon.
Mid-colon.
So by region. And that means the ileal and jejunal arteries and veins are just going to be within what you consider the jejunal and ileal region. I don't think that's fair because there's not a demarcation that we're using. So what I would do is if I use the jejunal, it's going to be like miles away from that ileocecal valve. So as an example, let me find it again.
What if it says like 2 and 5?
So and I'll have it so you can see the valve. So if I have a pin way up in here, it's not very close to the ileocecal. and it's nowhere near the duodenum. I have to be talking about this. I doubt if I would even do that, but if it did come up, I'd probably give you a hint saying this is the second section of the intestine, something of the small intestine, something so that it would give you an idea where I come. And so those were all those arcading blood vessels running through there. And so those are all by region. There's not just one ileal artery vein, not just one. So the 4 branches coming off of the superior mesenteric, or the iliocolic, the midcolic, and then the intestinal veins. So intestinal arteries, of course, and then the veins to the veins. Okay. That one is the easy one, inferior mesenteric artery. It's just going to be traveling along the colon, and as it goes down this way, it's going to the sigmoid, which is on the human, the S-shaped portion, and if we go deeper, superior right. This yellow one that's traveling right next to the inferior mesenteric artery is the inferior mesenteric vein, so that's the easy one there. As we go farther up, it's going to join together with the superior mesenteric. It's where it's become a bigger, larger vein, and it's getting all sorts of veins from all these intestines. I snapped the squealing, so that's what that little piece is right there, and we can see it on the other cat hole, so that's where I broke it. But above that is where it's now going to be the hepatic portal vein, and that's going to go up into the liver. So above those branching, now it's the hepatic. And while we're here, there's the gallbladder. And the gallbladder had its cystic duct right here leading away from it. And here's one of the hepatic ducts. So we know the 2 hepatic ducts come together on top of the hepatic ducts. I know you guys all know this because you did great on the quiz. Cystic joins it. Now we have the common bile. I wanted to get the pancreatic duct out. Didn't work. Didn't get it. So that'll be a model question. So hepatopancreatic duct, ampulla invader, and sphincter will all be on the model. But you can kind of get part of those. So you could be asked about the hepatic ducts or the cystic duct. How we got there. Is this a girl or a boy? So here's a uterine hole. Don't make a mistake in calling this the fallopian tube. It's the uterine hole. And of course there's one on the other side. Here's the ovary. And that little, like a wrist and a hand wrapping around it, that's the fallopian tube. So ovary, fallopian tube, uterine hole. What's this thing?
Ureter?
Yeah, ureter, and then it goes to the
Bladder?
yeah. And from the bladder on out, what structure is that? And of course you want to identify every single organ. I think that's pretty easy. What was this vessel here? It comes right up along the side. And can you see the sympathetic trunk right there? Not very impressive. Sympathetic trunk, kind of covered with
The yellow?
tissue. Yeah, kind of a golden brown. Looks like dental floss or something. That's the sympathetic trunk. And when we got out our superior mesenteric artery and our celiac trunk, all that really tough threads of tissue that you might have seen, that was ganglia too. So there is a plexus of ganglia associated with each of those big trunks coming off of the descending abdominal aorta. Let's look at the heart real quick.